I have avoidant personality disorder, which is caused by chronic emotional abuse in the form of criticism and rejection by parents and peers. And because of that, I'm extremely isolated, and it makes life very difficult because not only can I not reach out to anybody else, but I feel like I'm a burden, to say the least, on other people. Because of the AvPD, I have bouts of depression, and I have some maladaptive coping techniques. In other words, just things that normal folks don't do to get through. And one of them is suicidal ideation, which is what I want to talk about right now. There's a definite difference because I have been both actually suicidal and had the ideation. The ideation, if you have suicidal ideation, what it is basically whenever you get really stressed, which happens a lot when you have avoidant personality disorder, because being around people of any sort stresses you out, makes you very self-conscious, can't tolerate any sort of judgments whatsoever, positive or negative, and it's about impossible to be out in the world and not be judged, or not to perceive yourself as being judged. All people have to do is a little flinch, a little shake, anything, sneeze, can be taken as a rejection. To deal with it, basically the ideation is, oh, this could just be over. You know, I just could die, I could have an accident, I could, anything could happen, and then it would be over. I wouldn't have to deal with the stress anymore. It's kind of like people that are in massive financial difficulties thinking, I could just win the lottery and then all my problems would be done with. It's the same kind of thing, and it has the same kind of effect. It's a comforting effect. I know this seems wrong it just seems completely counterintuitive. How can you think dying would make you feel better? But it does. It calms you. If you have suicidal ideation, it's like a pressure release. It just makes everything tolerable, because the fact is that everything in the world, it does come to an end. And no matter how bad something is, it eventually is going to stop, so you can get through it. Compared to regular, actual suicidal tendencies, the difference is this, and the reason I want to go over the differences is because if you have suicidal ideation, and if you are depressed, which happens a lot when you have avoidant personality disorder, those three things seem to align. The problem is you can go from having a suicidal ideation to being actually suicidal, and you really have to monitor it. If you have suicidal ideation, you have to watch out for it and make sure that you don't let yourself get to that point. If it's not a comfort anymore, that's a problem. If it seems perpetual, maybe once an hour when you get stressed is still ideation, but if it's once a minute, that's something you need to watch out for. If you don't seem like you can control it, if you have no control over it, if it starts to seem like that's inevitable and that's really the only way you're going to survive, is if, well, sounds crazy, but the only way to survive is if you kill yourself, that's when you really need to look into it. But as far as the ideation goes, the second reason I want to talk about it is because when you have avoidant personality disorder, that's my cat, by the way, You tend to feel like you're the only one. I mean, it's so bizarre that you don't want to be around people, but you do. That whenever you hear something nice about yourself, you dismiss it. Whenever somebody's trying to be with you, oh, geez, there's something seriously wrong with them if they like you, that sort of thing. Um, it's such a bizarre thing, but there are people, I'm not the only one, who have the Avoidant Personality Disorder, and there are people who have suicidal ideation, and it is not the same as being suicidal. And if you don't realize that, you can think, oh my lord, I'm completely crazy. All I'm thinking about is trying to kill myself all the time, or please put me in an accident, so that I would actually not have to go through this anymore. I mean, you really do think that it's completely wrong, and that you're totally the only one who's ever had such a bizarre impulse. But that's not true. Again, it's a maladaptive coping technique. It is not unique, and it is definitely something that can be lived with. So that's about it. Um, and if anybody else has anything further to add, I would love to see what you would want to post about it. Thank you.